there. I'm your host, Leslie Randolph. I'm a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the self-confidence coach you wish you had as a teen. Honestly, I'm the self-confidence coach I wish I had as a teen because I know I could have saved myself and my mother a whole lot of heartache if I'd only known then what I know now. I hope to save you some of that suffering by sharing the lessons I learned late in life right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? Welcome to the show.
Hey, happy people. Welcome back to Why Didn't They Tell Us? Listen, it's been a minute since I've been in the room with you. Well, I guess if you want to get technical, it's been a year, yeah? This is my first time on the microphone in 2025, and I'm so happy to be back at it. If you're new around here, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Leslie Randolph, and I am a self-confidence coach for teenage girls and the teenage girl that still exists in all of us, even moms that are raising teenage girls or tween girls that act like 20-somethings. I'm one of those. I say this teen that exists in all of us because I don't know about you, but I didn't have a self-confidence coach when I was a teenager. I was part of the fake it till you make it generation, where I just closed my eyes, I held my breath, and white knuckled my way through it all. And from the outside perspective, I mean, I faked it and I made it, right? I made it. I graduated high school, I graduated college. I had amazing friends, a successful job, a loving family. But on the inside, I was hurting. I was always doubting myself, from what I said to what I wore or what I did day to day. I was terrified of failing and allowing that fear to stop me from going after goals and chasing dreams that I had. And I was so critical of myself, always focusing on my perceived faults and past failures or potential failures versus my gifts and goodness that were within me. So while I made it in some respects, the journey to getting there was kind of terrible because of the company I kept. And I mean me. That internal voice that was always holding me back versus cheering me on, until I learned how to cultivate self-confidence. I now have the privilege of helping others do the same through one-on-one and group coaching, through workshops and speaking events, and of course, right here on Why Didn't They Tell Us? So I am thankful to have you here and to have you be a part of it. Whether you are a new friend who appreciated that introduction or an old friend who knows all about me and still comes back every other week, I'm thankful. So obviously every topic I tackle over here and every episode that we record, it comes back to self-confidence in some way. And today's episode is going to be no exception, because we are reconnecting here at the start of a new year. And let me tell you something. New Year's is like the Super Bowl for life coaches, because so many of us take time to close out the year reflecting on what we achieved and to set our sights on new intentions, new frontiers and new goals for the year ahead. Listen, call them resolutions, call them goals, choose the word that feels right for you, or perhaps the one that causes the least anxiety or like cringe. Because I know so many of us have this like real aversion to the idea of goals and resolution. In fact, one statistic I found said that 70% of Americans choose not to set a resolution each year, which really blew my mind, because if you look at my Facebook feed and the conversations and company that I've had over the past few months, it's all about goals. So I was shocked when I saw that. And I have to tell you, despite being so surprised, I used to be someone that would never set a goal. That is obviously before I found this work, which is why I'm taking today's episode to try to convince you to set some. Listen, I never used to set goals or say my intentions aloud, because literally the moment I did, I was greeted by doubt and fear. The voice in my mind would tell me, all the ways it wouldn't work, or all the ways it was, just a dumb idea altogether. Like, oh, that's stupid. We shouldn't do that. And then it would predict how I would feel when all of those what ifs and worst case scenarios that it was spewing at me would come true. I now call this emotional forecasting. It's like a doomsday emotional meteorologist in my mind giving me the weather report of how I would feel when I would fail. Can you relate to any of that? If so, chances are you too have not set a goal or intention for the year ahead. So many of my clients say the same when we start to talk about goals. And obviously, we talk about goals. They say something like, I don't want to set myself up for failure, or I don't want to let myself down. All of this sounds so benign, but it's rooted in self-doubt and disbelief of you. And if we're looking to cultivate self-confidence, which I know you are because you're here with me, then beliefs like this need to be noticed and negotiated with. Here's the thing about goals. They are a playground for cultivating self-confidence. Setting a goal is a way of saying to yourself, I want you to have what you desire, and I believe in your ability to create it. Setting a goal is the ultimate act of self-love. So I want to offer you a few thoughts, tips, tools, maybe even some pleas for you to set goals with confidence, because I want you to set them. Or simply walk away from this episode just really lovingly curious to consider why you don't do them. What stops you from setting them? And I'm going to start by offering you a great big coach confession. I struggled with this year. My goals for the year ahead look very different than they have before. Over the past few years, I have set my sights on conquering new frontiers with my coaching and my business and my personal development. And as I reflected on that this year of all of this growth and going, I noticed this undertone of bigger, better, faster. There was a whole lot of pressure to do more. And that pressure was not propelling me. It was paralyzing me. And the only person causing it, right here. That's why I have to tell you something about self-confidence. It is a journey, right? There is no destination where you're like, I am forever loving, trust, and believing in me. No, I am still a student of all this work. And that's why I love to come on the microphone and share not only what I know, my wisdom from coaching, but what I'm living through. Because I hope it inspires you and also allows you to be like, oh yeah, I feel that. So for me, looking at the goals that I was going to set for the year ahead and knowing that this kind of drill sergeant voice was like, all right, what are we going to do? We got to go faster and harder. So for me, the most loving thing I could do this year was to focus more on being versus doing. To slow down and to allow that to be okay. Now, for any of my fellow overachievers and perfectionists out there, I see you. And I hope you hear me when I say it is okay. It's okay. I think a lot of us have this idea of what a goal should look like and what the result of it should be. I am challenging that with my intentions this year, and I invite you to do the same if this resonates. My goals are focused on creating more joy and being more present versus just doing more. This intention aligns perfectly with what I want right now and who I want to be right now. And that's the first step to confident goal setting. Knowing what you want and being willing to honor that. So often we set goals based on the past or external expectations. We look to what we've done before and think it needs to be bigger, better, harder, faster, like I said before, because that is a sign of growth. And isn't that what a goal does? It's supposed to push us out of our comfort zone and challenge us. I agree with the latter and not the former. We are constantly evolving creatures, inside and out. We change and the circumstances of our lives change too. So I urge and encourage you to set a goal that works with where you are right now and aligns with your priorities. Now, as a confidence coach, I hope you hear me when I say, I don't want you to hear this and say, okay, she's trying to keep me small. I don't say this to keep you small. I say this to keep you sane so that you can continue to grow and find what a more loving version of that bigger, better, faster, harder looks like for you. Let your intention be one that you are able to commit to with as much ease as possible. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but that it works with your life. So I'm going to give you an example from my life for this. I know I want to create more joy this year. And immediately when I sat down to brainstorm with myself of what would bring me tons of joy, something that is fully for me, not something for the business or my clients or my kids. I thought of doing a stand-up comedy class because I love making people laugh. I love being on a stage. Obviously, you find me every other week with a microphone. And when I'm really honest with myself, and I've shared this before on the podcast and in my TED Talk, I've always wanted to be on a stage. And a comedy class would, it would still force me out of my comfort zone a little bit. I mean, I think I'm funny, but my kids don't. It would force me to grow a little bit, just a bit of discomfort, but still so much joy, right? Now, every stand-up comedy class I found was in the evening, which would mean I wouldn't see my kids and I couldn't see my clients, which is sometimes when I see my clients. And that's not a sacrifice that I'm willing to make right now, right? If it's a sacrifice that keeps me away from my business and my kids, not right now. Now, this doesn't mean I never will. It means the timing isn't right now for me. So think about your wants and your priorities and what goals you can set that work with those versus in conflict with them. We've all heard about Quitter's Day. And I think because sometimes we set these goals that are in conflict with where we are right now. I think also, I say we look to the past, okay, that goal could have worked for me in the past. But we also sometimes set goals that are based on external expectations. And I need you to know that your goals need to be your own, your wants, your desires, where you are right now. I think many of us, and this is particularly true for young adults, we go after goals to make other people happy or simply to spare other people discomfort or disappointment. When setting a goal, make sure it is aligned with what you want and the life you want to be living. Because you are the one that will be doing the work every day. You will be the one going after that goal day in and day out. And a goal is achieved simply by a series of steps and habits and actions. So if you decide to go to medical school to go make mom happy, remember, she won't be the one studying or sitting in class or doing the rounds with you. It's you. So be sure your goals and the reasons for them are yours and yours alone. Of course, my favorite tip for confident goal setting is to believe in you and your ability to achieve what you desire. And that is a choice you can always make. So many of us set goals that demand we believe in something that we have no evidence of. If you want to do something you've never done before, like stand-up comedy, then you have no proof of your ability to do it. In fact, you might have no ability at all yet. But you do have the choice to believe in yourself and your capability of achieving it. You might not have the skill, but you definitely have the capability. Remember, everything is figure outable. Love that from Maria Forleo. The same is true for your goals. Start there. Shoot, even if you're unconvinced from this episode about the power and the reason for goal setting or resolution setting or intention setting, I hope you will make the choice to simply believe in yourself this year, to make a habit of it, to tell yourself every day, either in the mirror or on a piece of paper or just quietly in your mind, I believe in you. You'll be amazed what happens when you do. If you make just that your intention for the year ahead, to be more self-confident, to love, trust, and believe in you more, and to put a habit behind that, you will be amazed. That voice that tells you, I don't want to set myself up for failure, or I don't want to let myself down, will get so much quieter when it's not the only one in your mind. When it's greeted by one that loves and believes in you so much. Finally, when going after a goal, setting an intention, or creating a resolution, you have to take action. You have to start. You have to make a plan to make it happen. Either taking one small step or a big giant leap. You have to begin. I know this makes total sense, but so many of us don't take action. We think about what it is we want. We think about the goal. We talk about the dream, but then we don't move towards it with intentional action. And I think often it's because we are waiting for it or for us to be perfect before we begin. And that's why I'm here today. Let's be honest. It is close to the end of January on a Wednesday talking about goals, right? That's not the perfect time. Shoot, I should have been on the microphone. What? January 1st talking to you about goals. It didn't work for me this year. It didn't align with my intention. But I got to tell you something. January 21st is as good a day as January 1st is as good a day as March 31st. I sure hope March has 31 days. It doesn't matter. They're all beautiful days to decide what you want, to believe in your ability to achieve it, and to start going after it. Wednesday is as good as a Monday, my friends. There is no perfect time to start, and there is no too late. Just believe and begin. Come back to your reason why, those priorities, and keep going. With that, there is nothing you can't do, be, or achieve. I know that to be true for you, and I'm cheering you on for it. Borrow my belief if you need it, my friends, but I do hope you set a goal for yourself this year. I hope you lovingly push yourself out of your comfort zone and choose to believe in you and your ability to achieve what it is you want. I know you can, and I can't wait to see you do it. All right, my friends. Till next time.
Love what you hear? Well, I'd love to hear from you. You can find me at confidencecoachforgirls.com. That's confidencecoachforgirls.com. Or email me at lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. That's lesliethelifecoach@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you.